Tell you what, we got two great semi-finals this weekend in the Premiership, didn't we? Both games for differing reasons. Bath-Bristol last night, short while ago, Leicester Sale finished, and we have our Premiership finalists. I'm giving you a quick chance now to click off the video if you're looking to avoid the result of the Leicester Sale game. But Leicester are going to meet Bath at Twickenham. Absolute throwback of a final, this one. It's like we're back in 1996. Two of the great traditional clubs of English rugby going at it and looking to win themselves the Premiership. First against second as well. So again, having to go on the road in the semi-final is so difficult. So what I'll do in this video, I'll start off by talking about the game that has just finished, Leicester against Sale. I'll mention last night as well, because I haven't done a video in full on that. I did a quick short with kind of like 60 seconds of my thoughts. So I'll speak about that and kind of tee it up generally, and then we're going to have a week or whatever it will be of preparation. So Leicester Sale, I guess fair play Leicester here, because all season I've been in the camp of not necessarily thinking that this Leicester team are that good. And maybe that's really unfair, because over the course of an 18-game regular season, if you finish second and you get yourselves a home semi-final, then a little bit more respect should be put on your name. But all season I've kind of had question marks over Leicester. I've looked at other teams, including Sale, by the way, and thought there were stronger squads and stronger teams in the division. But ultimately, does the cream rise to the top? And if they finish second in the regular season, they've won their home semi-final, maybe they deserve people like myself to give them their dues, I suppose. I thought today they were excellent in the first half. Like the momentum and the speed of ball, the physicality there, how tactically astute they were with the kicking game at times as well. Like they looked like a really good outfit for the first half, certainly. And I just wondered whether they were going to regret kind of the Pollard missed kicks, maybe not taking a few more opportunities in that first half. But the Isaiah Parisi try ended up being absolutely crucial, and they held on at the end. So I suppose to Leicester, credit to them. And a bit like Northampton last year, there's a bit of a last dance feel about it. Ben Youngs and Dan Cole in particular, like two absolute legends of that club and English rugby. Their last games for the club, what a way to go out would be by lifting silverware. Julien Montoya as well. So there's that kind of feel to it to Leicester. And one thing we have said all season is Michael Cheika is the sort of coach that the force of personality, could he drag this Leicester team to a title? They're one game away. I will say for the semi-final today, though, that I think if you're a Sale fan, God, you're looking at that as a missed opportunity. And I guess to a degree, in a semi-final and knockout rugby and games that are tight, you're always going to have one team that feels that way and another team in Leicester who you credit for getting themselves over the line. The reason I say that for Sale is I feel like I don't think they're as strong a team to when they last got to the final and lost to Sarries, wasn't it? Yeah, Sarries, when they lost to Sarries. It's a team that in part is getting older. I love kind of the youth in their back line and their back three and players that have come through the system. But I just wonder how much longer this window is going to be for this Sale team under Alex Sanderson. What is it, 4 years in a row, is it? They've got top four? And to miss out on the final, and here as well, they were poor in the first half. Drop balls, forcing it. Some of that making mistakes because of the pressure and the structured, really good defence from Leicester. But I just thought from Sale, you're looking at that and you will feel it is a missed opportunity. And let's talk about the decision at the end. I hate highlighting decisions too much because I think you've got a whole 80-minute performance. It comes down to so much more than one refereeing decision. Personally, I thought there's no way that was a legal tackle. I'm amazed that they found some sort of wrap in there from Stewart. And I get it's so difficult when the ball carrier goes that low, but I was pretty surprised by that. I thought it was going to be a Sale penalty. But if you are Sale, to go back to what I was saying just now, you had other opportunities. You messed it up. You were turned over 5 metres out from the try line. Those are probably more the moments that you have to highlight rather than one refereeing decision. But I do think it was a big moment. I think it is going to be a big talking point. As for last night, was that the game of the season so far? Bath-Bristol. Unbelievable semi-final. So if those of you that have watched the channel before will know I'm a Bristol fan. So I was pretty gutted in the end. I mean, I expected Bath to win. I had predicted Bristol would because I went with a heart overhead prediction. But in terms of the regular season, Bath were the better squad, better strength and depth. The first 40 minutes, and I thought the emotional place that Bristol were able to drag themselves to, the intensity in their performance was exceptional. They made life really difficult for Bath. They scored an utterly ridiculous first try through James Dunn. And then the first 20 minutes of the second half, Bath absolutely overpowered them, absolutely blitzed them. And by that, it just left them too much to drag back into it. From that, again, I suppose when you're looking at it from different points of view, if you're a Bath point of view, you think, geez, we got pushed by a local rival, tough game at home, but those 20 minutes, like the momentum, the speed, the accuracy, Bristol weren't able to cope with them. That's what you focus on. If you're Bristol, I think you focus on it and you say, the restart to begin the second half, they conceded a penalty. Bath then immediately score within the first 2 minutes of the half. There was an AJ McGinty, silly penalty that he gave away for an infringement at the ruck where they immediately go and score. Just these kind of little moments, the discipline. They got 2 yellow cards in the game. There's a few things like that they had to be close to perfect to be able to win that game. They had a pretty perfect first 40 minutes, but they faded away in the second. And for me, from a Bristol point of view, I think back into the top 4 this year, big plus point. They had to get top 4. If they'd missed out again, I think there'd be serious questions over this team. And they're a funny one, Bristol, because on the one hand, they are doing so much right in that the style of rugby they play is incredibly entertaining. It's mental, it's ridiculous and lacks structure at times, but they score loads and loads of tries. I think if you're a season ticket holder at Ashton Gate, you're getting your money's worth because you're getting such entertaining, high-scoring games. They have a crowd that is increasing steadily. They do loads of innovative things off the field, like taking the game to Cardiff. There's so much about Bristol that is good, but it is getting to the point, maybe not quite yet, but it's close to the point for me where I'm like, you've got to start winning silverware. The flip side of that, actually, when I then think about it, and I was kind of tossing these things up in my mind last night, is when Pat Lam came into the club, they're a championship team and a side who hadn't been able to establish themselves in the Premiership for years and years, hadn't been a regular top 4 team. I think this is the 3rd time under Pat that they finished in the top 4. Actually, from where they were, Bristol are in a way better place. But is it going to get to a point for Bristol fans, I suppose, where all of that good stuff isn't enough anymore and you need to see silverware? I think for the time being, and if you look on social media and replies to kind of what the club put up at full time yesterday, it's an immense amount of pride, I think, in how they performed and where they are. So those are my views on the semi-finals. Give me yours down below. Like the video as well and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And what an intriguing final we have. As I say, it's a huge throwback. Bath going for their first league title in 29 years against their old rival. I just wonder how Leicester match up against Bath compared with Sale. Would Sale have matched up better against them? They haven't earned the right to be there. Leicester have earned the right to be there. But that was probably before this game, part of the reason that I kind of wanted Sale to win. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Sale anyway, but kind of wanted him to win because I just wondered whether we would get a better final. Could be totally wrong there, but yeah, slight gut instincts. But by the way, this is the guy that predicted 2 away wins in the Premiership semi-finals this weekend at the start of the week. So what the hell do I know? And it is worth emphasising that point. Actually, that's a good point to end on. Home advantage in the semi-finals is so key. And if you're looking at this season, if you're Sale and Bristol, you're probably looking at matches that you messed up. In particular for Bristol, they were second in the league before the Six Nations. They've been pretty ordinary after the Six Nations. Snuck into the top 4 in the end. They had it in their own hands at one point. Missing out on a home semi-final was huge. And Sale as well. I think if Sale are playing anyone up at the AJ Bell, they'd back themselves in a Premiership semi-final. But the task of going away to Welford Road, yeah, it's always going to be pretty tough. Those are my thoughts on the game. Let me know. Hit subscribe. Like the video as well. See you in the next one.